So here's a new like sword game, Battle Talent. It is free on Quest right now. For now, it'll probably be. It's not finished. So pretty much, it's an arena fighter, wave fighter, and some of the maps have a roguelite dungeon. Right now, you're seeing pretty much the weapons you start out with. You get a certain amount of coins, and then you can buy weapons that show up in the game. And then there's like magical versions. So you'll have like a spear, and then there's one called a thunder spear. And when you hold the magic ability down, the weapon will glow. The bow shoots like a very powerful arrow. There's like a wind sword that'll shoot like almost like a, I guess, an energy wave. And the thunder spear, you can like dive. There's like a war hammer. There's like daggers. There's all kinds of cool little shit. Your first 2 levels are pretty much like an arena. Then the third one is a roguelike dungeon. This is the arena. I love the spears and the short swords. You can grab in different places on the spear. I think you can grab pretty much wherever you want. And this is how you pretty much pick up the little model, and that's how you start the challenge. You're going to fight skeletons, there's goblins, dark elves, and I think that's it. But there's like 2 types of goblins, there's 3 types of skeletons, and I think there's 2 types of dark elves. They're all like ranked and shit. So like the skeletons are the easiest guys. You can just pop their head off. You can grab them, you can rip them apart. There's all kinds of cool things. The goblins are my favorite to kill. They'll like slash at your legs and shit. They're fucking douchebag goblins. All the weapons have like a durability too, so eventually they break. You could throw everything. You can jump. There's a dash. I am going to give you this warning, seriously. This game, you need a lot of space to swing your arms. So if there's shit around you, you might hit it. It gets pretty hectic in the later levels. Right now I'm stuck on like the 3rd arena, and they're sending like 5 motherfuckers at you. And the higher the level 2 dudes and the level 3 like skeletons, and I think there's level 2 dark elves, they have like powered swings that you have to swing really hard. Like the you just can't walk up and just you're not gonna walk up and just stab somebody. The combat is really good. You can knock out the legs. When they fall on the ground, you can stab them in the head. You can grab them by the head. There's an ability that you can buy with coins, and you could actually rip the skeletons apart. The 2-handed swords is you really need to hold it with 2 hands. It's not going to do much damage. And like I said, every weapon has like a counterpart that has like magic and shit. It is, and the combat is so satisfying against the skeletons. But I'll tell you right now, it gets fucking hard against the dark elves. And the level 2 goblins are sons of bitches. Because they're tiny already, and then they do this little like sweep, and they always go for your fucking legs. The blocking is really good. This is like the thunder spear. So instead of the regular spear, this is the actual magical one. And fighting with the spear is my favorite. When they do their super, when the enemy does like the super attack, their weapon will like glow red. And if you swing harder and you'll block, it'll put them in like a stun mode. Because once the skeletons and the elves start coming out with armor, they're a lot harder to kill. You're not just going to be able to like swing on them and shit. And they're super aggressive. And you're getting like 5 or 6 dudes on the screen at once. And some of the skeletons can shoot fireballs and shit. The boss fight at the end of the catacombs was fucking brutal. But well worth it. For a free game, this is really, really a good game. I like fighting with the daggers. I just started using fucking around with the daggers. Just going up and stabbing people in the neck. If you turn the gore all the way up with the goblins and shit, Yeah, there I just used the superpower right there. But with like the goblins and the elves, you can slice them in the head, and if you swing hard enough, you'll take like the tops of their heads off and shit. It's pretty it's not super gory, but it's really good. And see, the durability of the spear broke. The durability doesn't really matter too much in the arena fights, but in the dungeon map, pretty much all your like weapon management, you'll see it later, is really important, because it's a long haul. It's almost like in Death, where it takes a good like maybe 30 to almost like 40 minutes to go through the dungeon. And the boss fight took me about, I think, about almost 10 minutes. It wasn't easy. But it's like, it's not impossibly hard, but the missions that I'm at now are fucking tough. The bows are really cool. This is just like the cheap regular bow. There's a fancier one. You could also block with everything. You can block with the bow. The bow is not easy to aim with. Like, you can't bring it up to your head or up to your face like a regular bow. And that's probably my only like complaint so far, is the bow is a little bit hit and miss. But I mean, if you want to drop people from afar, it's the best. Like, shooting the skeletons' heads off is real fun. There's traps, but most of those traps you're going to see in like the roguelike dungeon. That little white ball is the mana that you'll get. And on the left hand, there's like a little screen. You can flip your arm over, and that's how you see your health and your mana. But you can see that like the skeletons are coming out with like helmets and shit, so headshots won't drop them right away. And it gets progressively harder. And pretty much your first arena is there just to teach you the basics. And then once you get into that roguelike dungeon, you know, after that, you know, all bets are off. It's fucking, we're throwing tough motherfuckers at you constantly. There's that little bitch swipe they do. And you can pretty much all the swords, like you can grab it at the very top, or you can grab it at the very bottom of the hilt. Getting them stuck on the spears. The spear is so much fucking fun. Like, that's the only weapon I really need. And just stabbing people when they're down is great. And then if they're dead, you'll hear like every monster will make like a long, drawn out sound. And once they're dead, you can't stab them again. That kind of sucks. And throwing weapons and like, you really have to get used to stuff. And it's cool because you keep hitting them on where the armor is. The armor will break off eventually. And some of the skeletons and the dark elves come fucking wearing all kinds of shit. Some of the skeletons have shields. This is the dungeon. This is like on the third map. So there's spike traps on the floor. There'll be fire traps. There'll be traps where you hit buttons. There's the assholes that throw shit at you. They're really easy to kill. If you swing your arms, like if you're running, that's how you run. He fell on the fucking spikes. But there's traps where like jars of explosives fall from the ceiling. There's fire traps. I haven't seen too much of anything else. But I really do like the roguelike dungeon that they have in here. There's two of them. I haven't gotten to the second one yet. The chests will have weapons. Some are regular, some are magical. There's tons of like just rooms. Pretty much every room is like goes off into a hallway, then breaks off into 4. And you'll have ruins that give you buffs like permanent health, permanent mana, and permanent damage. And then you'll have the curses, which are like the blood wells, and they'll have like an extreme upgrade, but then they'll have a negative thing. This is just the weapon upgrade. So you can see all your weapons will have stats and durability, and some of them they give you like more knock-up basic shit. But back to the curses will give you like an extreme high-end damage output on something. You can see the stats are different now. Space them out. There you go. and it's just like a little crit. But the wells, they'll usually, the one I found gave you more damage with the sword, but then nerfed a lot of your spear or your arrow damage. And I was like, I'm not fucking using arrows, so it doesn't matter. But there's also a well that will remove all your curses. These things right here give you like health and other weird, I don't know what else they do. I've only seen them give you like health buffs. There's blues and there's red ones. Usually the red ones fill your health. All you gotta do is touch them. Here's the like the curse thing. There was one that would take away your health. I'm not a big fan of the curses. I don't like negatives on my shit. This one I think just refills like 200 health. So it's pretty much, it's not even that bare bones, but there's enough to like keep you in it. And this is the actual boss fight at the end. And this is like after 20 or 30 minutes in the whole dungeon thing. This boss is fucking heavily armored. He just swings at you like a motherfucker. And eventually more and more skeletons spawn into the room. He's got like a pain in the ass magic attack. And this seems like it's real basic, but after 30 minutes of going through the dungeon and dealing with tons of shit, you're tired as fuck. There's going to be other skeletons coming in. There's that douchebag magic thing. It's easy to block, but they will follow you, so they don't stop. I don't know if they eventually like explode, but I haven't seen it. If they do, they fucking chase the shit out of you. And his attacks are just brutal. But like I said, if you swing when they swing, you can knock out their attacks and put them in like a stun phase. See, I knocked out his helmet. You knock out his chest piece, the arm pieces. This is me running for my fucking life. But you will get a workout from this game. It's really fucking intense. And I do warn you again, you're gonna want space. Make sure there's no TVs or shit, because you're gonna swing like, you're gonna get into it. Once you start fighting the like dark elves and shit, you're gonna get pissed, and you're gonna start swinging like motherfuckers. Because it's what it's gonna take. Because fighting a whole bunch of regular skeletons like this, they're not tough. But when the goblins and the elves start mixing in, and there's like 6 bastards on the fucking screen, it gets really good. But I really recommend this game. It's free right now on SideQuest. I mean, come on, fucking free, really. In this day and age, with the shit going on, every free game is gonna help you. There's plenty of games I paid $20, $30 that are shit, and I try not to recommend shit. And I try not to buy shit, because even if you're doing well now, who knows what's gonna happen in the future. We're all in the fucking roller coaster of fucking unknown. So I really recommend it. Just be careful when you're swinging in your house, because you're gonna have to swing it. It's not just a point, like a poke and stab and oh, you got the kill and shit. You're gonna swing like a fucking bastard. Other than that, take care and have a good day. All right, bye.